YOLO. You only live once, right? Well, the sad part is your debt may actually outlive you. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to pass on generational wealth, not generational debt. Welcome to the Homeowner Prep podcast, where every week we educate and encourage aspiring homeowners to help them buy their first home faster. If you aspire to own a home, you're in the right place, so enjoy. Do us a favor and leave a review, a rating, and be sure to subscribe. Now let's get to this week's episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Homeowner Prep podcast. I'm your host, Eric Hillan. And on today's episode, we're actually going to be talking about generational debt. I know this isn't a topic that a lot of people want to talk about. They tend to think that, hey, I'm going to live my life and I'm going to spend my money the way I want to, and it won't impact my next generation. But that's just not true. In most states, you will be protected. Your next generation will be protected from your debt, but that's not always the case. And so we're going to talk about a few things that you can do to make sure that you leave generational wealth and an advancement for your future generations versus generational debt that may hold them back. The biggest way to protect your family from your debt is to actually have some life insurance. I'm not going to get heavy into the types of life insurance you should have or how you should use that life insurance, but you need to have some life insurance. If you are the income earner or if both spouses are earning income, they both need to have life insurance, and not just on your job. I will state that when you leave that job, you lose that insurance. So you want to make sure that you have your own life insurance set up and set aside to protect you for the only promise that you have in this life, and that is eventually you will die. So definitely set up some insurance to protect your family, to make sure that the larger obligations that you have will be taken care of and they'll be okay for some time period after you pass. Insurance law actually states that debtors cannot go after your life insurance money in order to pay off debts. That does go directly to your beneficiaries. So take advantage of that. Make sure that you have some life insurance outside of your job that protects you for the only promise in life, and that makes sure that your next generation is protected for some time. It's hard enough to deal with the death of a family member, but it's even harder when you're trying to figure out burial costs and things of that nature. So do yourself a favor, set yourself up and set your family up for success. The next step to set your family up for generational wealth and not generational debt is to actually have an estate plan set up. You should have a will and a trust set up, especially if you're married, if you have kids, and if you own real estate or a business. You need to have a succession plan established to say, here are the beneficiaries of this plan. Here are the beneficiaries of my wealth. The last thing you want is to have to go through a probate process. That process could take months, and it can actually hurt your family as they try to make plans after your death. It doesn't take much to set up a living will and trust. You can actually do it through some online sources, but if you want more details, if you have a little bit more of an advanced plan that you want to put together, definitely talk to an estate planning attorney. And if you don't know anybody, reach out to us and we can connect you with a referral. Unlike your insurance money, your estate is at the mercy of your debtors. When you die, the debtors can actually go after your estate. They can go after property, they can go after different things that are set up that you have that is valuable to them that they can force the sale of in order to pay off debts. So you want to make sure that this is all spelled out in your estate plan and that you really protect your family so that you're not just passing on this debt that comes and takes away the majority of the wealth that you're trying to leave to your family. I really encourage you to think about these things now. Think about them today and start putting plans in motion to think about the next generation. Death is a very difficult thing, and the last thing you want your family to have to deal with is a financial mess that you leave behind. So start planning today, start putting these things into motion, and make sure that your family is left with generational wealth. One of the biggest keys to leaving generational wealth to your family is actually buying your first piece of real estate. Buying your first home is often the biggest asset that you buy and is often the biggest asset that is passed down to the next generation. So if you're thinking about buying your first home and you need some assistance, that's what we're here for. Feel free to reach out to us. You can text the word START to 619-848-3700, or you can visit us on our website at homeownerprep.com/start. There you can download an ebook about the home buying process. You can actually take an online assessment to see where you're at. And if you're truly ready to go, we can connect you with a real estate agent or a lender in your area. If you have a general question about your unique situation about passing down generational wealth, we love to help and assist. And again, if you need professional advice, we can refer you to somebody who can answer those questions for you. So you can reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. We tend to get the majority of our questions on Instagram at Homeowner Prep. I hope you got some value from today's episode in learning how to pass down generational wealth, not generational debt, to your next generation. If you have any questions, again, definitely don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to providing you with some more great information and insight on the next episode. And until then, be blessed. If you've enjoyed this show and got some great value from it, please be sure to rate and review. And if you're checking it out on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. That really does help us to continue the show and bring in some great guests to help you on your home buying journey.